Hey everybody, I wanted to officially introduce myself. My name is Kyle Sasala. I will be the new athletic director here at St. Vincent St. Mary High School. Very excited to get started. I understand that everybody has busy seasons and busy times and busy meetings and whatnot. So I wanted to kind of get in front of you and kind of talk a little bit about myself. Obviously, I wanted to have an in-person meeting, but obviously everybody's, like I said, is very busy. So this will have to do, and I'll be out in the community and at the games, and doing a bunch of different things, seeing helping as much as I can and whatnot with different programs, the coaches, student athletes. Again, just going to be out in the community helping out as much as I can and being visible. So if you see me, stop me. I'd love to talk to you. I'm a big Cleveland sports fan, and I'll get talking a little bit more about myself and whatnot. But looking forward to getting started. Already starting basically. Um, this has been my first week, day 4 so far. But again, looking forward to getting started, diving deeper into it, and learning how I can best support the school, community, student athletes, and programs. Moving forward, um, there we go. Like I said, my name is Kyle Sasala. I'll be the new athletic director. That is my email. If you have any questions about that or about anything, feel free to email me. I'm pretty good with communication. I like to communicate back and forth relatively quick. But just know that I am, very busy, but I'll do my best to get back in contact with you as quick as possible. A little bit about myself. Um, I'm originally from this area. I'm originally from Brunswick High School. I'm a Brunswick High School graduate, going on nearly 10 years now. There, I played baseball and basketball. I played 1 year of basketball and 3 years of baseball. Moving on from there, I went to the University of Cincinnati. I'm a University of Cincinnati graduate. I'm a Bearcat. There, I got my bachelor's in sport administration as well as my minor in business administration, and then moved on to get my master's in sport administration as well. Um, just a little bit more personal stuff about me, and I'll talk a little bit more about my professional work as well. But I'm recently married to my wife Kylie. We've been married now going on a couple months. Back in April, I have a black lab dog named Roxy as well. She's a big part of our lives. I'm a huge Cleveland sports fan, mainly the Browns and Cavs, but I don't discriminate against Cleveland sports fans. I love them all. I love, and one big thing too is I love to hang out with my friends and family. I've been in the Cincinnati Dayton area now for the past 8 or so years, and finally trying to get myself back, or finally have found myself back to this area, the Northeast Ohio area, to hang out more with my friends and family, and to continue my work in interscholastic education. Moving on, a little bit about my professional experience. I kind of got started getting my feet wet with a school down in the Cincinnati area, right while I was going to school at UC Cincinnati, Walnut Hills High School. It's a co-ed public high school, a bigger high school, 7 through 12 in the Cincinnati area. Basically, getting my feet wet, helping the athletic department out with anything, any needs, any wants. Basically, doing whatever was needed to succeed, and do everything for the school and the mission and the athletic office. Moving While I was doing that, I started working with the University of Cincinnati athletic department. I was working in the facilities and operations department, where I set up all the football games, basketball games, fixed different things. Really worked my behind off. Long hours, but nothing against long hours, but it was definitely long hours. But definitely got me ready for this position. But moving on to that, Saint Xavier High School. It's an all boys Catholic, or Jesuit high school down there in the Cincinnati area. Very well renowned school. I was working in the advancement office for about 7 months or so, helping them raise a boatload of money. Was in sponsorships and donations, and you name it, we were doing it, as well as working with their communications team, helping them send out different press releases, communication to alumni, student athletes, parents, you name it. Moving on from there, I moved on from that position into the interim assistant athletic director position at St. Xavier High School. for about 6 or so months. Again, keeping my feet wet in the interscholastic athletics realm, doing as much as I can in the spring season, whatnot. Actually won a state championship in boys lacrosse, so that's one thing I'm super proud of. But some great experiences at St. Xavier High School. Moving on from there, I was the Roger Bacon High School graduate assistant there. I was basically like the assistant's assistant, helping them out with, again, with any needs, wants for the athletic office, mission, vision, uh, running my own events, site managing, anything athletics related I was doing there at Roger Bacon. Roger Bacon. Moving on from there, I transitioned into the assistant athletic director position at Bishop Fenwick High School. This was my last high school. Um, Doing, again, everything, anything and anything in the athletic office. Um, Basically running the athletic office for the past couple of years as the assistant. Then my previous boss, moved to a different position, and I stepped in as the athletic director, continuing to run the athletic department for that last year. And then now I find myself here at St. Vincent St. Mary High School, and looking to build upon what I've already worked with at my other schools, as well as building upon the traditions and history and the great things that we're already doing here. Can't wait to build upon that and bring some other new ideas to as well. But obviously not putting down and slashing the ideas that we already have. I think, just again, like I said, building upon those is very key. Moving on, a little bit about my philosophy. I am huge on the transformational coaching. I like to say, my kind of phrase is using education-based athletics as a platform to transform student lives. So again, this is kind of bigger than just the X's and the O's, bigger than the wins and losses. But don't get me wrong, I want to win. But I think it's about transforming the student athlete as a whole, through the education, interscholastic education piece of it. Developing these student athletes not into just a better basketball player, a football player, a tennis player, whatever it may be, but developing them into a better human being, a better character, a better young man, young woman, bringing them from that young boy, young girl stage in their life to that young man, young woman stage, and getting them ready for whatever is next to be. Whether it could be being a Division I athlete, it could be going in the Army or college or in the real world, whatever it may be. Just developing them and transitioning them into that, what they want to be. I want this to be a learning experience. I want the sports realm to be a kind of an extension of the classroom. I think there are things that maybe you don't necessarily learn in the classroom that you will learn on the field, whether it's communication or hard work or time management or whatever these things may be. Understanding that it is a learning experience, again, transforming those student athletes and making it a learning experience. Also, understanding that there's these life lessons that you can learn, again, going along with the learning experience, life lessons you learn through sports. Again, I listed them a little bit earlier, but these life lessons that maybe you won't necessarily learn in the classroom, maybe you will, but the different atmosphere and things you'll learn on the field or on the court. And I think one of the big things that I'd like to teach my coaches and myself is, I think we need to have a big impact. We do have a big impact on these student athletes and these students. A lot of times I like to say that we're around, myself or these coaches or the teachers are around these, your son or daughter a lot more than just than yourself. So we have to obviously be role models and um, have an impact on these student athletes, because again, we're around them a lot more, maybe more than you are, and they really look up to these coaches and these teachers. So again, we want to be role models for these student athletes and these students that come through these programs. I like to say athletics is a privilege, not a right as well. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I think it's an honor to wear the St. Vincent St. Mary logo on our chest and to be a part of the school. So I think, again, holding us to a higher standard is something that I would want to continue here. I think we already do hold everybody to a higher standard, but continuing that excellence in the higher standard, and being the best that we can be. I like to hold students accountable. This goes back to the learning experiences, development, life lessons, holding the student athletes accountable. Making sure that they're respecting everybody, making sure that they're wearing their jersey correctly, doing things that they're supposed to be doing, and having those processes and guidelines, making sure they're following the rules. I think again, it's uh it's a privilege to wear the jersey, the logo on our chest. So again, just holding those student athletes accountable. I want to be competitive. I'm a very competitive guy. Like I said, I played basketball and baseball in high school, and I want to win. I hate losing, but I think we don't want to get away from the end all be all wins and losses. Don't get me wrong. I want to win, but also I want to be competitive and win, but also doing it the right way through the transformational coaching, through development, through the different things that I've been talking about. So don't think I don't want to win. I definitely want to win, and I think I want to continue the history of winning and the traditions of winning at the school, and again build upon those. Along with being competitive, I want it to be a positive, fun experience, not only for the student athletes, but for the coaches, for the alumni, for everybody, for myself. I want to come into work and enjoy my job. I want the student athletes to have to go to practice and enjoy practice, not gripe about it or hate it or shrug their shoulders and say, hey, I got to go to practice or school again or whatever it may be. Um, Again, making it a positive and fun experience, because a lot of times too, I don't know what the stats are, but I think it's 97 or 96% of the time, student athletes are not going on to play at the next level. So I want it to be a memorable, positive, fun experience for them at this time, so that they can enjoy their time here, as well as when they leave, they can come back and still be a part of the community, to still feel part of the team, the atmosphere, just the school in general. Because we love those alumni coaches. We love all of our alumni to come back and be a part of the programs in the school and the community. So I think that's a big piece of it as well. And also, I just like to throw this in there too, academics. Obviously, you're a student athlete, not athlete student, but obviously just putting an emphasis on academics and making sure that we're doing everything we can to be eligible to play. Because obviously, if we're not eligible, you can't play. So just putting that in there too as well. Moving on, a little bit about my expectations or expectations of myself that you'll expect of me. Like I said, I'm big on communication. I like to use the phrase open, honest, transparent, and real-time communication. I'm a big communicator. I'll send a lot of emails. I'll send a lot of text. I'm always on my phone. Communication, communication, communication. Organization. Excuse me. I think in this role you have to obviously have great organizational skills. You're multitasking. There's 3 different seasons, 20 plus sports, many different coaches and student athletes, alumni, student athletes. There's just a lot of going on. So I think you have to be very organized in this position. So that's one thing that I definitely am. Support. I think my job is to support the school, the community, the student athletes, the programs. You will find me, supportive at all the events. I like to be very present and hands-on and be a part of the programs as much as I can, but also not micromanaging the coaches, letting them kind of have the autonomy to, run their programs. But obviously, I want to be a part of them and support them, big word support, as much as possible. I'm a hard worker. But I like to work my butt off, and I like to put the time and energy and effort into it, but also know when to crack a joke, have a good time. I like to joke around and mess around, but obviously I know when to turn it on and turn it off. So I definitely think that is a big piece of it. And I'm a very social guy. I like to talk to people. I'm always out in the community at my old school, talking with different alumni and coaches and student athletes. So again, big piece of communication and talking and socialization. I have a lot of energy and excitement. I'm a little bit younger, obviously. I have a lot of energy. I'm excited about this position. I'm excited about the school, where we're at and where we can be. So again, I'm going to bring that energy and that excitement throughout my day-to-day stuff and throughout the programs and the coaches and the student athletes that we have. In this role, obviously we have to roll with the punches in adversity. That's one of the things in this role you have to do, is you have to expect the unexpected. It's tough. You just got to roll with the adversity, and it's not going to be easy all the time. I think that's why I enjoy this job so much, is because not every day is going to be the same. We're doing one thing this way and another thing this way, and then tomorrow we're doing it totally different. So again, rolling with the punches. In this role too, as well, I think you have to be able to make some tough decisions. Obviously, not everybody's going to like the decision that I make. But I think if you have these student athletes and the coaches in the school and the community in the best interest, I think that's the only way you can do it. I want to do what's best for the student athletes and get them, like I said in the previous couple slides, to get them to where they want to be, and doing what's best for them in my decisions. Leadership, one of my leadership skills, I like to lead by example. I won't ask you or a coach or a student athlete to do something that I won't do. I have no problem rolling up my sleeves and jumping in the concession stand, or doing whatever, shoveling dirt or whatever it may be. I don't like to think any job is too small, but I also like to, going with that, I like to plan. I like to think big picture, but also not losing sight of the small things, the day-to-day things, the task punchers, things like that. So planning, but also understanding the small things matter as well. I put a lot of trust in my coaches. I think you can trust me. I think the administration put me in this position to be able to trust me to get the job done. So I think that's one thing that I like to tap my, put my hat on about, or to tip my hat, is that people can trust me to get the job done. I'm a quick learner. One of the things I will say is, for the time being, just bear with me. I'm going to be meeting a lot of different people, a lot of different processes, guidelines, this, that, you name it. So I'm getting pulled in 85 million different ways. So, bear with me for the time being, but I will learn. I'm learning as we speak, and I'm a pretty quick learner, and I'll pick up things very quick. So again, just bear with me. Collaboration, I like to think of myself and Carly and my assistant and the coaches as collaborators. I don't like to sit up on my high horse and think that I'm bigger than anybody else. I like to collaborate with my assistants, my coaches, my student athletes, parents, different things like that. I like to collaborate as much as possible, because obviously I can't do this job by myself. I have to, rely on a lot of parents and volunteers and coaches to help me with different things. So again, collaborating is a big piece to all of that. Moving on, just some of the things that I expect of some of the coaches. And I talked to the coaches about this, in our coaches meeting, is like I said, in my expectations that you'll find of me, communication. Communication is key. Over communication, just making sure that it's open, honest, and transparent in real time communication. Obviously, I want that. I don't want things to boil up and then blow up at the end of the season. Obviously, if you have a problem with something, go to the have that student athlete go to the coach, or have that communication process. Um, I want that, just like I talked about me. I want to be competitive. I want the coaches to be competitive. I want the programs to be competitive. I think it's very self-explanatory. I want to be competitive, but also doing it the right way. Through the transformational coaching and developing and life lessons and things I talked about in the slides before. Respect. It's pretty easy. If I respect you, you respect me. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory when it comes to that. Support. I expect the coaches to support me. I'll support the coaches. Support goes both ways. So again, doing that as much as possible. Talked a little bit about this. The bear with me. Again, I'm still learning the processes, guidelines. How we do things here at St. V. So again, just bear with me. Student athletes centered. Obviously, like I said in my couple of slides before, I'm here to do what's best for the student athletes, the programs. I want to be able to do what's best for the student athletes on a day-to-day basis and make those decisions for the student athletes with their best interests in mind. I talked a little bit about this. Obviously holding student athletes to a high standard. Again, very, very important that we're at a very great institution, a great school. And it's an honor to wear that jersey, that logo, to wear the green and gold. And I talked about this a little bit too, but being a role model for student athletes, I want my coaches to be a role model. Not only on the court, mainly off the court too as well. I think off the court is a big piece of it. How you act off the court is huge. I think that's a big piece of athletics that maybe some student athletes and people don't think of, is how you act, not primarily on the court, but primarily off the court is a big proponent to student athletes. So like I said, this meeting was kind of more just to introduce myself. I wanted to touch base with all you. Obviously, like I said, it's tough to get everybody together at one time. Especially with fall season already kind of started, or basically already started with our football game next week, and with practices going on and just the craziness of school starting, I wanted to kind of get in front of you as well, you all of you, and just kind of explain who I was. Obviously, I'm not outsider that's coming in. I wanted you to see who I was when I was walking around in the halls, walking, walking around outside the stadium, the court, whatever it may be. Like I said, I'll be out in the community and I'll be out at the games. If you see me, stop in. I'll be at um, different places introducing myself to people. I'll be at different sporting events, anything that can kind of get me out there to have you all learn who I am. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, stop in the athletic office. I'm in the same office as Coach Carly. So again, looking forward to the season, looking forward to working with all of you, and go Irish.